This week on the Paul and Wayne Show.
In Tales from the Tavern, we recount our noble charge into Realmshift, an Age of Sigmar tournament where the fun was plentiful and the victories politely declined to appear. In the Law Lounge, I wrap up Festung Europa, following Roberta Wells on her ill-fated wander through Dresden, proving once again that Konflikt 47 is 50% history and 50% oh dear. In DnD Diaries, the party leaves Barovia's cosy misery for the wilds, immediately meets a berserker, then Madame Eva, who reads their fortunes with theatrical gusto. We even bring in a special guest to help us unpack the chaos. And then, at the hobby desk, Wayne unveils yet another new project, because of course he does. On with the show!
Tales from the Tavern.
We're in the tavern. You know what, Wayne? This week, I'm just going to go back to basics. Let's just have some frothing ale. Going to join me in a frothing ale?
Who actually drinks frothing ale? Who do you know that actually describes it as a frothing ale?
I do. Look at the frothing ale.
I'm going to go have a frothing ale, please.
I will have it. Well, if you can get sort of something like butternut elf ale or something, you know, all the names they have now. Surely there's a frothing ale. Yeah. Right, what was it we were going to talk about this week?
Well, we were going to talk about this week. Well, weekend just gone. We went to an AOS tournament, which we did, run by our good friend Ricky Me. Realmshift at Entoyment. It was a 2,000 point AOS tournament.
It's one games. Of a series. So he does a series of 3,
so
and
this
it
was
leads
number 2.
To what's the one in Bournemouth called?
Beachhead.
Beachhead, and it leads to Beachhead, doesn't it?
So you've got.
So it's 4 in total.
Realmshift 1, 2, and 3. This was 2 we went to. 3 is in November, and then it leads on to kind of the grand final, if you like, I suppose, in Beachhead next year. So it was 5 games, 3 on a Saturday, 2 on a Sunday. New General's Handbook.
Fairly standard match play, no sort of extras.
No, it was there was no sort of quirky rules or kind of unusual stuff. It was pretty sort of standard tournament play. So myself and Paul I took Thanquil's Menagerie, which is basically Thanquil
who's a shaman, rat shaman riding a big rat ogre.
He's a grey seer on a big rat ogre. When I say big, massive.
Yeah.
He wasn't that great actually. He was, but we'll get to that. How wide? But that was more to do with me because I was playing the rules wrong, to my detriment, which is unusual. Then I had 4 6s of rat ogres, which were really good, and 2 abominations, which are kind of big clan moulder gribblies. Big gribblies. And a couple of master moulders, which are kind of small characters which can heal the beasts. Very simple list. Loads of fun. Really enjoyed playing with it. Then you took Stormcast?
I took my Stormcast Eternals. And basically I've got some big guys with big hammers and some big guys with slightly smaller hammers. Then the Celestin Prime, who's got a really big hammer. And the only one without a hammer is I've forgotten her name now, Indrasta.
Yeah.
And she's got a big spear and a big sword.
Oh.
And again, not very complicated, no magic or anything like that. It's just try and smash stuff, which I did do some good smashing, but not enough.
So the Saturday, it was hot, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was
really hot.
The whole,
to the point where you couldn't think in the evening of in the third game on the Saturday. Yeah. I couldn't think.
I was struggling to count dice. So when the rat ogres were going in, I got them up to 7 attacks each at one point. So 6 of them were going in, so it was like 42 dice, and I was struggling to count 42 dice.
Yeah,
it was so hot.
It's quite high too. High amount of dice to go to.
Like, third game, your brain just starts getting frazzled, doesn't it? But really, really good fun, really good games. The rat ogres are very smashy. They kind of look okay on paper, but nothing. You know, but it's just the sheer volume of attacks.
Well, it's Age of Sigmar, so it's about laying buffs on top of stuff, isn't it,
Yes.
to make it more effective?
Yeah, knowing when you could, because you get like things like all out attack and all out defense. So all out attack gives you +1 to hit, but you can only play it once,
and you lose a bit of your save as well because
I've got a rule in my army that basically I can, even if I've played it, I can pick 2 units in the menagerie list, and I can actually pick an all out attack and all out defense, so I get it a second time. It's just making sure that everything's in the right place in the right order when you do things, which of course I didn't do all the time. But yeah, really good fun list, nice and easy. I found with the tournament, actually, we won't go into like the games in any detail, but I actually found it really enjoyable to play OS.
Which is interesting because you've been quite down on that game for quite a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't play with battle tactics, so I made a decision.
And long-term listeners will know
yeah,
how much you hate battle tactics.
I hate battle tactics with a passion. And I won 2 of my games. So out of 5, I won 2 of the games with no battle tactics.
And do you think that's because you were just concentrating on playing the scenario and your army?
Yeah.
And just that's one extra thing you just didn't have to think about at all.
Yeah, I mean, battle tactics, obviously, you know, if you achieve your battle tactics, they will give you extra points at the end of the turn.
Quite a lot of extra points.
Quite a lot of extra points, yeah. But some of the battle tactics, like, you know, moving out of your deployment zone, or it's just like some of them, you know, you read them and you kind of go, really? I'm just not a fan. I just don't think they're intuitive to the game. I don't think they kind of. I mean, yes, they're a way of adding points to your score, but do they actually add any flavour to the game or kind of make it more interesting? I don't think so.
And I think the people that like them are the people who play loads.
Yes.
So Age of Sigmar is their game. They're playing it non-stop all the time.
Yeah.
And it gives an extra layer of granularity to it.
Yeah.
But for most other people, which is most people that play, I think they're, especially these ones, that are really actually just quite difficult to understand because of the word. And I understand why they do the wording. The wording is really difficult to say. Like, it's not normal English.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to decipher, and then there's a caveat and a caveat and a caveat. But I know why they do that, and that's because it's a big game and people are trying to break it all the time. So if you don't put those extra words in, then people go, oh yeah, but it doesn't say that, or it says it like this, so I can do that, and completely warping unless you write it in such a convoluted way. And it just shows you this is where you get to when too many people are trying to break a game.
It's quite an interesting thing as well, where when you kind of look at something where, okay, you can say most people play because they enjoy playing. They enjoy like the painting and the hobby and the gaming, and they enjoy the social interaction, and they, you know. But actually, when you get to the kind of like, I don't know, let's say the sort of top 10% of the players that are playing it, it takes on a whole different thing because they are trying to interpret the rules. I want to say cheating because that's a whole different subject, but they're trying to interpret the rules to give them what they want. Yeah. And
they'll argue it till they're blue in the face as well.
And it seemed as perfectly acceptable to do that. And I get it, because you sort of say, well, if this thing is written in a certain way and it gives me this certain advantage, then why would I not take, you know, have that as an advantage to my gameplay? But you're right with the wording. I mean, you've read me, so before we went, you picked out a couple of battle tactic cards for me, didn't you? And you read them out.
Yeah, I said, well, maybe you could do these ones. Yeah.
Maybe to do these ones. And you read them out, and I just went, I don't know what you just said.
I don't even understand the words coming out of your mouth.
I can hear, but I don't understand. So I just didn't bother. And actually, not playing the battle tactics, I think that was one of the reasons I enjoyed, because it was one less thing to think about.
Yes, yeah. And it might be now, although you don't like them, when you go to another one, you might say, look, I'll take these 2 sets of battle tactics, and the first one is this, and I might do it. I might almost do it as part of the game.
Yeah.
Not necessarily try to do it, but you might end up doing it and getting a few extra points or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could definitely play without them. The quick plug for our next call it a tournament, but a fun event, which is not using battle tactics. No. So Lazy Hammer, coming up in the next few weeks, but down at Entoyment. So yeah, if you want to get involved in that, go to. It's called Lazy Hammer, and come down to Entoyment, and it's on ughobby.com. Just follow the link to Lazyhammer and get your tickets, because that'll be great fun. And there's some really good guys coming who will absolutely lean into the fun of it.
Yeah, I think it is AOS on easier mode.
Yeah.
Having said that, I mean, I don't play much, and I found it really easy to play. What was quite funny in one of the games, my opponent had a Fire Slayer's army, which is basically like crazy dwarfs, and he started explaining all the rules, what his army does, and there's a lot of rules. There's a lot of things that it does. And he got about 5 minutes into it, and I said, tell you what, not being rude, but there is no point in me telling me this, right? Because you're telling me, and it's just literally on, it's going as quick as it's going in, it's going out. I said, just tell me as you do it. And he kind of looked at me as if like, well, that's going to be gotchas, and I thought, well, it's gotchas, but it's too many rules.
I wonder whether it's because I have the same problem when people start. Once they've told me the 7th thing, I've lost A, interest, and B, my brain can't assimilate it anymore. I wonder if you should just say, I might in my next games just say, what should I look out for? What sort of things could catch me out? I don't need to know all your rules, because I get because although we don't know the latest rules for everything, we know the general gist of how other armies work. So maybe that's the thing to do, because actually I can look out for 2 or 3 things, but I can't look out for 10 things.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the guy I played, he'd been playing Fire Slayers for about 5 years, so he knew him really well. He was a really good player, knew his army inside out, knew how to play his army, knew all the, and obviously to him it was just second nature, all these rules.
Yeah.
But they were. I was shocked. I thought Fire Slayers would be quite a simple to play army. They're not.
Yeah,
they have got so many.
There's all sorts of runes and things going on.
Oh, just so many things that buff the way the units interact with each other, and the way they're kind of magmadroths, which are kind of like these like wingless dragons, which the dwarfs ride. The way they interact with each other, it's just like,
I killed 3 of those in one of my games.
Oh, I killed 1.
Still lost.
Yeah, I lost as well. I managed to kill 1, and I left 1 on a wound, and then it healed. But yeah, no, it was a really good fun weekend. Ricky ran a great event.
Yeah.
And it was it was a lot of fun. It was obviously the heat was a bit of a problem. There's nothing that anyone can do about that. And Toyman's a great venue. And it was a lot of fun. So I've kind of changed. I kind of came away from the tournament thinking, I don't know, I really enjoyed AOS. I was writing, thinking about new lists on the way back, and sort of. We had quite a conversation.
I think which is interesting as well, because that's a tournament where I think the level of play is really quite high as well.
Yeah.
People really know what they're doing with their armies, and it's quite a high level in terms of the players there. Really nice people, like great people.
Yeah.
And I think Age of Sigmar, certainly in our area in the south, who come to all these events, is the best community I've ever been involved in gaming.
It is very, very good.
And people know each other, but there's, in a field of 40, you're still not going to be playing people you've played all the time. Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is that the draw came out, and guess who I was playing in the first round.
You were playing me.
I was.
Which we thought that was a joke at first, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
And it turned out, because when we registered for the tournament, Paul put himself down as Pompey Pirates, because you could pick a club. And I had a problem with the app. I went into it and it wouldn't let me pick a club. It wouldn't let me put anything in. I came out of it several times, went back into it. It just wouldn't let me do it. So in the end, I thought, I won't bother. But because first round draws, club members don't get paired against each other. But because I hadn't had the club in there, we just randomly got pulled against each other, didn't we? And we just went, we'll play, because we very rarely play OS against each other.
Yeah, we tend to play other things.
Yeah. And we even we planned a game for during the week, which we didn't end up playing. So we played that first game, and it was really good.
It was a good fun game.
Yeah.
I mean, you beat me in the tournament, didn't you?
I had 2 wins.
You had 2 wins. Only I had 1,
and that was against
me.
That
was you.
You're welcome.
I did lose 2 of my games by 2 points.
Yeah.
So
the ones
I had they were great games, and I'm sure there could have been many things in each of those games where I could have won those games, but the guy I played last, I thought I completely had that game in the bag until like turn 4.
Yeah.
And suddenly he jumped ahead of me, and I couldn't quite get back again in the very last turn. So he played it brilliantly. He managed, and again, it was on battle tactics though, because he managed to get like 2 battle tactics on that 4th turn.
Yeah.
So he went and stood 4 people in the corners of the board, and which you would have loved, wouldn't you? Oh, I've got 5 points because I'm standing in the corner of the board.
That kind of stuff annoys me.
So but it was a really good tournament. But I think sort of the thing to take away from it is don't always discount a game completely when you're a bit off it, especially a Games Workshop or a Warhammer game, because they the good and the bad thing about them is they change so often that if you're not enjoying the game at that particular time, and we've played Age of Sigmar all the way through, then it's going to change fairly swiftly.
Yeah.
They do a new edition every 3 years.
Yeah.
And then you have different generals' handbooks.
And the new army books they
change everything
they mix
as well.
it up a bit.
So I think stick with it. I mean, I don't think we'll ever go back to Old World. That's a different matter of a different thing.
Yeah, I just think Old World's a bit of a complicated mess, if I'm honest. I quite like the idea of Battle March, in the sense, them smaller games, so you don't get all the big crunchy monsters.
So Battle March is a smaller points version.
Yeah,
does it have its own rule book?
It does actually. Well, no, it's the same rules,
right? Okay.
But it has its own book of what the limitations are.
Yeah.
So, for example, you would play between 400 and 750 points.
Yeah.
But it has in the Battle March book, it has like a selection of magic items. Lower pointed magic items.
And you can't. I assume you can't take like. I'm just taking a big dragon, unkillable dragon. Then
you're limited to. You can spend so many points on a character, depending on what point you play at. You can spend so many points on a unit. You can so basically, it's designed that everything's kind of smaller forces, almost like border skirmishes. Which I quite like the idea of that. Playing it, but then are we going to get anything different out of that than we wouldn't get out of just playing Oathmark? So.
No, I think so, and we're all in on Oathmark, aren't we? And we're also trying to build a community a little bit for it as well. So we've got a day that just a games day when the new book comes out. The 2nd edition comes out at the end of August, and in October we're going to have a games day, and we've got a few people involved, and that's that start of trying to build a local community.
The 27th the rule book comes out, I think.
27th, yeah, and then we're in October for our games day.
Gives people enough time to sort of, because the rules aren't really changing. I think there's
not an awful lot.
No, I think it's just I think there's some areas maybe being. Well, I don't know too much about it, to be honest. But I think we believe there's just areas being tidied up.
Yeah.
And condensing a lot of what was in the 4 books into 1 book.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think
And I certainly won't be doing any Old World. I'll be sticking with that as my rank and flank, because I've got loads of other games projects. I want to try out and projects and things like that I want to do at the moment.
I very much want Old World looking armies playing Oathmark.
Yeah,
because because at the end of the day, on the table it looks the same.
Yeah,
so I like the look of that. I feel there's so many games out there at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah,
so many options, which is great.
And I want to try some out for the podcast as well, sort of try and play some games, but also looking at the lore of different games and things as well.
Do you think we haven't played Konflikt 47 yet?
No.
We haven't played Warriors of Athena.
No.
We haven't played
much Frostgrave, have we? We've only played a little bit.
Yeah, we've had 1 game.
Yeah.
7 Leagues.
7 Leagues. I am.
You're doing a solo.
I'm doing a solo campaign with that. So the 2nd video should be coming out fairly soon.
Yeah. I quite like the look of Baron's War as well, but another system. So it's
and it might be because we can use some of our stuff that we've got that's more generic.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like the models for the Baron's War and the heraldry and that sort of thing as well. So in the future, but I think we've got enough to be going on for now.
Definitely, yeah.
So I think we'll stick a pin in that, and I will go back to my beer.
Your frothing beer.
My frothing beer.
The Law Lounge.
So we've made our way down and we're relaxing in the law lounge.
Yeah.
And we're going to go for our third and final time into the world of Konflikt 47 to finish off our story from the last 2 weeks. I say the final time, but I'm sure we'll be coming back to this in the future. And more will be revealed about that later. So we're going into the Dead City. So if we remember, Pluto, which is the Soviet advance, has been fought off. Operation Valentine pushed forward. That was the Allied advance, which was a staging point for Operation Touchdown, which was the airborne 109th Airborne trying to go forward into Dresden itself to try and capture Dresden so that they get access to the rift. But what had happened is the operation had not gone well. Colonel, I can't remember, I think it might have been Harris, I've got his name written down later, he suggested that they would be withdrawing because they can't meet their objectives, and Roberta Wells has snuck off with her group of scientists and has snuck into Dresden, and that's where we were.
Is it just scientists that she's got with her?
She's only got the scientists.
Oh, that's not going to bode well.
It's not, potentially not going to end well. So then the colonel, cursing her name, is following on behind because she mustn't be
trying to catch her up,
captured because she knows too much.
Right.
So the Fireflies now of the 109th and the Jump Walkers are all sort of toiling through all the undead attacks towards Dresden.
Right.
But Wells and her party have managed to dodge like patrols and roving dead, and they're kind of making their way through the northern parts of the city now.
Yep.
And they start to see lots of different facilities of some of the stuff that's been going on in the city.
Right.
So there's like factories that make the Nachtzerer machines. They're the ones that inject the newly dead.
Oh, yeah.
Look like big spiders.
Yeah.
And there's like barracks or holding facilities full of totem core.
Which are the zombie troops that have been resurrected.
Yep. So they realise quite how many of these there are.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then loads of laboratories.
Yep.
And they're like, they don't know what's going on in there. God only knows what's going on in those laboratories. So this is the 1st of August. And by midday, they've managed to slip across a bridge across the river and go into the south of the city. So they're doing quite well. They've not been captured yet. And they approach the ruins of Dresden Castle. Now, Dresden Castle is the HQ for the New Republic, which is basically the Green Vault headquarters for the Axis.
Okay.
And then you will be absolutely shocked to hear what happens next.
Can I guess?
Go on then, what do you think
they
happens
get captured.
Next? Wells and her team are discovered and captured.
Yeah, I think everyone could see that coming. Load of scientists just wandering through the middle of enemy territory. Yeah.
And then all of them, apart from Roberta Wells, they're executed immediately.
Wow.
So
okay.
She's done well. She's led them to their deaths.
But yeah, they're glad they went on that trip.
Yeah. So
they know who she is.
Well, I think they've worked it out because von Zogling personally interviews in air quotes her.
Oh, right, okay.
And actually, there's a short story in the book about where they meet, and it's classic evil monologuing. But then in the late afternoon, the 109th attack from the west, and in classic sort of James Bond film style, she's left as they're distracted, and all her equipment and stuff is still around. So you just don't think that she's going to do it. So she manages to use the distraction to escape.
Right.
And while she does it, just for good measure, she uses her knowledge to blow up a huge battery of rift energy.
Okay.
But along with most of the things that she's been doing that she hasn't sort of seen the consequences of, it kind of resonates with the rift itself. And it produces like these massive, sudden and localized storms around the city.
Yeah.
And then there's random like discharges that land in places up to 5 kilometres away that just kind of crush everything underneath them that they land. So it's like, oops.
So she's got her team killed.
Yeah.
She's randomly blowing up the area, like which could be like civilian casualties.
Yeah.
She's not having a good day, is she?
Well, I mean, she's called Einstein, but not sure that.
More like village idiot at the moment, is she?
So then she manages to link up with the 109th that evening.
Yeah.
And the Axis forces are counter-attacking.
Right.
So the 109th Airborne are vastly outnumbered at this stage. So on the 2nd of August, so the next day, the Rift Storm is subsiding, the one that was caused by Roberta Wells. And of course it's interfering with like the Fireflies and the Jump Walkers being able to do stuff.
Yeah.
And Colonel Harrison, not Harris, I was close. Colonel Harrison, he throws everything at Dresden now. He's trying to cripple as much of the infrastructure as possible to try and basically stop the pursuit as much as anything else.
Yeah.
And then they regroup west of the city. I can imagine, in fact you don't have to imagine, there's a diary entry from Roberta Wells in the book.
Yeah.
Which suggests, I think one of the quotes from Colonel Harrison to her, as she's self-reflecting, is, I hope you're proud of your hubris. So, yeah. So
has she gained anything at all?
Not really, because she hasn't been able to sort of look at any of the facilities or anything like that. So 3rd to the 5th of August, so basically the 109th have taken overwhelming losses by this point. So they create as much chaos as possible and then withdraw. So use their last fuel reserves, so the Fireflies and the Jump Walkers' last fuel reserves, to get as far away from the city as they possibly can.
Yeah.
Now they're foot slogging, basically. And on the 5th of August, their rear guard is struggling to hold back the Axis forces. And they basically decide they can't wait for any more stragglers, and they just are going. So 6th of August to the 1st of September, they've realised they can't go west because that's where the bulk of the Axis forces are, because they're completely cut off at this stage. The bulk of the Axis forces that are facing the Operation Valentine troops, both, but they do know that from the south there's the Commonwealth troops that are pushing forward sort of from the southwest. So they decide to go that way and then aim for the Czech border. They cross the Czech border and they meet some Czech partisans in a town called Hrob. And there they manage to get some food and drink and resupply a little bit. But they're told about the harmonic resonance tower in Prague. You remember that's the Soviet resonance towers that interfere with
the
the brain.
scrambles the brain kind of thing, makes you confused.
Yeah. So there's a change of route now with the help of the partisans, but the countryside now is covered in like US jump walkers that are just broken down, out of fuel, so they have to destroy them and sabotage them so that the Soviets don't get the tech.
Oh right, so they don't even trust the Soviets.
No, well the Soviets, if you remember, they're not allies anymore.
Right. Oh yeah,
because they split off.
Yeah.
So 2nd of September. So Roberta Wells is, another good decision. She's with the lead elements of the Fireflies, and the lead elements are attacked by quite a large group of Svertruppen, which are infantry.
Yeah.
And at a border village called Eisenstein, and it's not looking good. They're pinned down. It's not looking good. But then they are rescued as a hail of bullets come in from a lone British automaton.
Oh, is this can't remember his name.
This is B for Bertie.
B for Bertie, yeah.
With his little mouse, with his field mouse on his shoulder. I have to get this model and paint him now. Just having read,
because that's his kind of thing, isn't it? He just turns up when the chips are down and just saves the day.
So he makes the Svertruppen retreat.
Yeah.
Because he sort of ambushes them and makes them retreat. He stops. He gives Roberta Wells a canteen of water, and then he carries on chasing the Svertruppen and disappears.
Ah, awesome.
It's a great character. Great character. And then there's a missive that obviously came afterwards to Roberta Wells, how disappointed that the American authorities were that she allowed this interesting thing to get away when she could have perhaps subdued it and brought it back, so they could learn more, because the US now want to learn more about it. So 3rd to 6th of September, Operation Touchdown, what's left of it, links up with the recon elements of the British 8th Automated Division near Sveisel. But there's only 1,000 of the whole division that have survived. Then Operation Valentine, so this was the general push by the Allies. I mean, there's quite a bit more, I'm not going to go through all of it, but they are trying to push on, try and get a decisive victory, but there's now a massive swarm of Totenkorps that come, and then the Totenkorps start to get the ascendancy and start pushing them back. So by early October, all of their forces are in retreat, and they have to set up a new sort of hasty defence line between Karlsruhe and Ravensburg. So not quite back as far as they were, but they're not further,
it's
much
not
further
how
forward.
they anticipated.
Yeah. So that is kind of the end of things with this supplement, apart from at the end of the book there's a quote from a signal that was intercepted off the coast of California on the 3rd of July 1947. I'm just going to get my book and read it directly from it, because this will lead into what's going to be happening very soon, coming out almost as this is released. And it says, all units, the conditions are favourable. Amaterasu smiles upon us. The way is open. Execute. And then there's Japanese artwork. So we may be seeing Japanese boots on American ground in the next supplement.
Because the next supplement's called, is it Invasion America?
Invasion America.
Yeah, Invasion America. Yeah, well, there you go then. Okay.
So we will be returning in the future, because that, like I said before, that supplement is brilliant. So I'll definitely be getting the next one. And I also, funnily enough, have a Japanese bolt action army as well. So.
And I picked up some Totenkorps at the
Yes,
weekend.
that's right. Yeah.
So basically, the whole Allied troops have gone through to sort of what they believe is a weakened Axis force, and they think they can kind of push through to Dresden, and actually it's going to go quite well. They've gained none of that. They've actually, it's the opposite. They've gone in, obviously been pushed back. Roberta Wells has lost all of her scientists because of her stupidity, her eagerness to get the job done, and gained nothing out of it. They're back to where they started.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which with far less troops.
And a lot of the Americans have now been withdrawn as well back to the US.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's stuff going on in the US.
So they lost a ton of people.
Yeah.
They lost loads of their armour, tanks and weapons.
And the forces in Europe now, the Allied forces, are much weaker. Although the British are leaning more and more into this automated stuff. So they're strengthening their forces with their automated divisions. So
the Axis are actually in a stronger position
than when they started, because they fought off the Soviets as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they've lost a lot.
Yeah, but they're using dead troops to bolster their.
But they did lose a lot of their sort of active troops early on as well.
Right.
So but the Soviets were beaten back as well, and they lost a lot of their elite troops because they lost a lot of their Ursus.
So if the Soviets have they pulled out?
So they've retreated as well back to where they started off.
Right. Okay.
So, although no, because they still, I think, are in Prague.
Right.
So they are further forward. But so the Axis have basically fought everybody off. So now we're back into that sort of stalemate position.
So I suppose then really the Totenkorps will be effective until they reach the coastline, because then they won't be able to go any further.
Yeah.
Be interested to find out how the Germans deal with the Totenkorps once the Totenkorps have done their thing.
Yeah, and
how they control them.
It doesn't make it clear, or at least I haven't seen it, that whether they have full control over them or whether it's partial control or none, and they just sort of eat whatever's in front of them.
Yeah, they kind of push them forward, and that's it. Yeah.
But I suspect they seem to have some sort of control over where they go.
Yeah.
So yeah,
interesting
there
stuff.
you go. So that's going to be the end of our Konflikt 47 content for the moment. Some people might be going, phew, we can get on some other stuff.
I found it really interesting.
But yeah, it's a really interesting setting at the end of the day, and great to revisit it in the future, and we'll check in on how our early games and things like that go as well.
Yeah.
We interrupt this podcast with a word from our sponsors, PWG Inc.
Here at PWG Inc., we care deeply about career development. In the modern workplace, climbing the corporate ladder can feel impossible. But for our employees, climbing the ladder is easy, because they simply remove whoever's standing on the rung above them.
Yes. Very efficient promotion system. Boss dies, you get the job. Boss dies again, you get better job. Many opportunities for ambitious rats.
And nothing accelerates that promotion pipeline quite like the Poison Wind Globe Executive Edition, designed specifically for leadership transitions. PWG Inc., proudly sponsoring chaos, confusion, and coffin fits worldwide.
DnD Diaries.
Last time on DnD Diaries, the party spent a cheery Barovian morning escorting the Burgomaster's corpse through town, prompting villagers to demonstrate their Olympic-level door-shutting skills. At the Church of the Morning Lord, they met Father Danovich, who was held together mostly by prayers and poor decisions. A quick trip to the Undercroft revealed his son Dolo, now a vampire spawn with the agility of a caffeinated ferret. Throm was immediately flattened. Kandu couldn't hit the broadside of a crypt, and Rana's divine magic flickered like a Poundland candle. Fortunately, Stumpy arrived, shouting and firing magic missiles like an angry fireworks display. Doru was eventually reduced to ash, Danovich to tears, and the Burgomaster to a dignified burial. Barovia mourned, the party limped on, and everyone agreed that basements are officially cancelled. Session 8. Cards in the Mist. The village of Barovia faded behind them, swallowed by fog and sorrow. With Irina at their side, the party set out to find safety beyond the cursed walls. But the road ahead of them was far from quiet. At a lonely crossroads, a wild-eyed berserker blocked their path, muscles taut and axe ready. Without warning, Rana surged forward, divine fury blazing. Kandu followed, blades flashing, though his strikes found more air than flesh. Irina, unimpressed by their chaotic coordination, reluctantly joined the fray. Meanwhile, Throm and Stumpy stood back, arms crossed, placing bets on who would fall first. The fight was brutal but brief. Rana's resolve and Irina's precision turned the tide, and the berserker fell, his rage spent in blood. The road wound on, leading the party past a weathering gallows. There a corpse hung limp in the mist, until its head lifted, revealing a ghostly face that mirrored one of their own. The vision vanished as quickly as it came, leaving unease in its wake. No one spoke of it, but all felt its chill. Campfires flickered in the distance, the music drifting through the trees. The Vistani welcomed the travellers with wary smiles and knowing eyes. At the heart of the camp sat Madame Eva, ancient and ageless, her gaze piercing through time. She beckoned Stumpy forward. With trembling hands he accepted the ritual. The cards were drawn, each one a whisper from fate. Madame Eva's reading. Knowledge of evil. Look for a fortress inside a fortress, a place hidden behind fire. A powerful force of protection. A wounded elf has what you seek. He will part with the treasure to see his dark dreams fulfilled. A weapon of vengeance. Find the mad dog's crypt. The treasure lies within, beneath blackened bones. Ally in the coming battle. A werewolf holds a secret hatred for your enemy. Use her hatred to your advantage. Your enemy's location. Look to the mother's tomb. The fire crackled. The cards lay still, and the party knew the road ahead was no longer theirs alone. Fate had spoken. Well, here I am in a very exciting turn of events. I do not have Wayne, who plays Throm. I have James, who plays Rana Brightsun. Hello, James.
Hello, Paul.
Well, first of all, could you give us a little bit more background on your character, Rana?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been relatively recent to D&D and thought, right, I want to go through all the standard characters. So I thought, right, let's play a cleric. So Rana is an Asima cleric of the light. So has a sort of some form of celestial background in there somewhere,
which he likes to remind people of fairly regularly.
Yes, yeah. And as a cleric of the light, sort of likes all things that have beauty and bits and pieces like that. So always wants to try and do the right thing, which I know at times sort of Throm's there going, what on earth are you doing? As I sort of get everyone into scrapes or something by doing the sort of the good thing.
Not always the sensible thing.
No, maybe not the sensible thing. But I think as we've progressed through Barovia, actually some of the bits and pieces that that Ran is able to sort of call upon has been quite helpful. So there's a natural radiance inside that can be drawn upon. So,
which in a very sort of dim and dark setting can be very useful.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Rana wants to try and sort of find that balance between being the party healer who stays at the back and just tries and gets people up when they, I say people, Throm up when Throm goes down, but also sort of going in and wielding a weapon and having a bit of a melee punch up with whatever we come across. So it's that I find it, I'm really enjoying playing Rana as a character and trying to balance whether it's do I run in with a great axe or do I throw a spell or a cantrip or something to try and start knocking the enemy down.
And that is the great thing about playing a cleric, isn't it? Because you can do both. You can do the healing, but you can also mix it up as well in a fight. But also with you've got some great range spells as well with power and sort of backup ones. I'm thinking of things like spiritual weapon and those sorts of things. They're great damage dealers just as an extra.
Yes, and I must admit, I find one of the challenges I have with playing Rana, and in a previous campaign I played a sorcerer, is, of course, you know that your spells are a finite resource, so it's that balance between I better hold them back because something bigger may be coming along, or expending through all your big area spells against some lowly opposition, and then getting to the point where it's if only I had a fireball or something like that.
Yeah. And then, I mean, certainly early on, as well as we've heard in previous episodes, you probably could have done with using them on things like caterpillars.
Yes.
The party really struggled against.
Yeah. Well, it's I think we all have our sort of go-to sort of moves, if you like. You know, Kandu's going to try and do some form of ranged attack as the ranger. You're expecting Throm as the barbarian to sort of be right in the face and almost be the tank at the front of the party.
He doesn't tank very well though, does he?
No. Which so you're there thinking, okay, I know that the Kandu's going to do that, Throm's going to do that, Stumpy's going to do that, and then when one of them doesn't come off, you're there going, we've had an entire round and done no damage to the target yet.
But the party's kind of coming together, isn't it? It's starting to work a little bit better than perhaps it did start with.
Yeah.
And you've alluded to the fact that Throm obviously struggles a bit sometimes with staying conscious.
Yes.
So are you the reason that Throm is still alive?
I think at times it probably is the case. I mean, thankfully we've got, I think, 2, if not the other 3 members of the party have an element of healing there.
Yeah.
But it's that right. Okay, when my turn comes around, I intend to use spiritual weapon or something or other, and it's I can't because I now need to stabilise and heal.
Yeah.
From in the background, and okay, well now wait for the next turn for that to come through. And I think with Throm you think will stay up as long as in the description of what Throm's going to do. If it starts to become theatrical, you know full well that the roll will be a natural one.
And
it will go to
something terrible.
Roll. Yeah,
something terrible is going to happen. So now let's have a little chat about this particular session, because it was quite an interesting one. First of all, there's a fight that you got involved in because you thought it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And actually, Throm and Stumpy sat back and made bets on it.
Yeah.
So what's your take on that?
I think at the time it was. I mean, we obviously came across the barbarian, and there was things about the barbarian's demeanour and just the general situation we were in. It was just this is a definite fight we need to take part in, and both Rana and Kando thought that, and so to say, right, we're going all in here, and then to see the rest of your party just sort of almost tittering in the background, thinking, great, thanks very much.
Yeah, it was quite an entertaining moment, I have to say, and you had that Irina there who almost was like, oh god, I suppose they've said they were escorting me. I suppose I probably better help them. And what about the Madame Eva card reading? That was really interesting as well, wasn't it?
Oh, it was, and the I think the challenge with the card reading is that there's so much information in there, but of course it's all nuanced information.
Yeah.
Or it's all riddles, and you then almost, and I know we had in some of the sessions, you start seeing answers to the riddle from the card reading in some completely random event that has absolutely nothing to do with that card reading.
I was about to say that.
But you're trying to put the pieces together.
Yeah. Okay, well that's great. Well, thanks very much for joining us, friend of the show. Now, James,
regular listener.
So thank you for giving us a bit more of a take, and hopefully we can have you back for another chat about various things soon.
Looking forward to it.
The hobby desk.
So here we are at the hobby desk. So you came round to my house. You've done a bad thing. You sent me a message and you said, "Are you in?" And I said, "Yes, but we got guests, but pop over," because it was James. So you know James from our games of D&D, and you rather cryptically put, "I've got something for you" in this message. Now I thought, is he going to come around, beat me up, or something along those lines? What have I done? But then you appeared and said, "Oh, I've got a few dwarves that I've printed out."
No, so that was the paint when I.
Oh, the paint. Yes.
Yeah.
No, that was the paint. No, that was the good thing. The bad thing was the dwarf thing.
That was the Friday actually.
That was Friday. Yeah, I'm getting.
Yeah.
So you just bring me gifts all the time,
stuff,
and then get them mixed up.
Well, Paul said that he wanted. You basically said that you wanted to do dwarfs in your profile mark. You said you wanted to do like dwarf and elf.
Yeah.
Was it dwarfs and elves and humans? And I thought, oh, okay. And you hadn't bought any dwarfs at this point.
No, and I was asking you questions about them, wasn't I? I was like, oh, how many do you reckon you get on a sprue and these sorts of things? Yeah.
And then I thought, oh, when I really went down a rabbit hole, early days of printing, I printed a whole Highlands miniatures dwarf army.
Yeah.
Scaled them down a little bit, so because they're kind of, the Highland stuff is more like a 32, so I sort of scaled them all to 28mm. But they've been in the shed for like, I never started them because I was just printing. And I thought, oh, I wonder if this is in the shed. So I went through some stuff, found it. didn't realise how much I'd printed. I mean, there
You
is
just kept taking boxes out.
yeah.
There's these ones and these ones and these
There's
ones.
a lot there. There's got to be a good, I don't know, 3,000-4,000 points worth of drawers, I suppose. It was all the characters, all the units.
They're
everything.
ace models,
They're great,
because sometimes with resin, if you leave it lying around for too long, it goes quite brittle, doesn't it? But I think because they're quite chunky, and also you've kept them in the dark.
I boxed them up, been in the shed. They're just out of the way of everything.
They're really, really nice, and the detail on them is really crisp as well. So they're some of the best 3D printed stuff that I've seen.
Highlands they make some great models. They make great STLs, but the dwarfs are especially good. Yeah, they are very, very good.
So they're on my table at the moment.
Yep.
So I've started going through the mountain.
And I've been procrastinating. I know we spoke about this before, but I've kind of I bought all the Oathmark plastic sets, and I think, right, what am I going to do? I quite like the idea of doing this mercenary force where I can just literally do a unit of humans, a unit of dwarves and elves, and just make a real mix mash and make a bit like old Dogs of War in fantasy. Yeah. And then I think I said on the show a couple of weeks ago that I joined on Patreon this company called Mom Miniatures. Yeah. Because they made some like old sort of very retro looking kind of take on models, but it was basically they did Skaven, and I thought, I wonder if I could get all the stuff for that, and I think to buy everything, like the whole army, I think it was like 30 quid for all the STLs. And I thought, I can actually do the Namtar project for Oathmark, so the Ratmen project, and actually do it as a proper, like, not using my existing Skaven army, but actually doing it brand new. So I thought, do you know what? Yeah. So I ummed and ahed about that for ages, and then
you had to paint some cavalry.
Yes, which is still not finished. Yeah, too soon.
Listen to a previous episode if you want to find out more.
God, I hate cavalry. And then I thought, because the next release that came out, because they do like a monthly release on Patreon, and you always get like a few units. And so the next one that came out was High Elves, like old school High Elves.
Right, yeah.
And I thought, okay, do I want to do
classic?
High Elves? Yeah. And then a couple of days ago, I made the decision that I'm going to do both.
Right. So that's okay.
I know.
Well, that's always the answer, isn't it?
I know.
Which one should I do? That one or that one? Both.
Even Mary, my wife, she said, "You like to do things the easy way, don't you?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." So what I've decided to do is I'm going to do an Oathmark High Elf army, but it's going to look like a classic, like something out of White Dwarf in the early days. And I'm going to do a Skaven army in the same way. But both projects, but to keep it fun, so I don't get bogged down with anything, I'm going to speed paint them. So I'm gonna do probably like slap chop or something like that, and maybe take a little bit more time on the highlighting just to make them look nice and tidy. But I want to just so that if I'm working on, because in Oathmark the maximum size unit that you have foot troops is 20, and the maximum size cavalry is 10. Yeah. So no project's ever going to be that big, and if you're kind of speed painting them, then it's even better. So I'm kind of thinking, I'm just going to rattle through and see the progress that way, but work on two armies, and hopefully I'll have something ready for when we have our Oathmark Day.
Yeah, in October.
But the elves in Oathmark, they're so expensive points wise. I think it worked out for me to do the army was I'm printing at the moment 2 units of archers, 2 units of spearmen. So 10 archers in each, 15 spearmen in each spearman unit, 15 sword masters, which would be the line breakers, a unit of 5 cavalry. And then what else is it? I think that was more than 2,000 points. Yeah. So I need to kind of trim maybe like a unit of spearmen off, so I can actually put like a wizard in a
but you know what will happen? You'll go, right, I've done it. I've got my points perfect. Got my 2,000 points done, and the new rulebook will come out, and their points will have gone down, and you'll have to paint a load more.
I've got from the feedback from a lot of people who've given about the cost of elves, I think that will be a thing. I actually think elves will be cheaper.
I hope so, because when you do put them on the table, they are quite powerful, but they go down. They die just as easily as anything else.
They activate easier. They fight better. They shoot better. But you're right. They do. When you've got like a 70-point cavalry model and it dies just as easy as a goblin one that's like 20 points, then So
Yeah.
I think they will drop in points. It should be interesting to see how they drop in points.
Yeah.
So what the plan is from that. So basically, with these more miniatures as come out, I'll just go for as long as I'll do it until I don't do it, as is with most projects. I'm going to do the rat men, then I'm going to do the high elves, but I might chop and change between units to keep it interesting. And then as soon as the next release comes out, because I think the next release will be another batch of high elves.
Yeah.
Because there might be like the white lions and that kind of stuff. And then we'll see what the next one's going to be, because I'm kind of hoping they do undead. And even though I've got an undead army, you know, what's better than an undead army?
Well, that
2 undead armies.
That kind of leads into what I'm doing as well, because my Oathmark army is going to be the dwarves.
Yep.
Obviously. I've also got some wood elves, like old fantasy battle wood elves.
Got a real old school
load
ones,
of those
haven't you?
that this gives me an excuse to do some of those because they're about the right scale.
Yep.
And then I've worked out a history, and at some point, one of our lore sections, I think we should go through the lore of
our own lore, yes,
our own ones, and talk about how to build the lore behind something as well. But there is also going to be an undead element to this society that I've got. So I'm going to use my Lord of the Rings undead, but if new undead come out, then they might have to go in. Very much based on the revenant side of it, mine will be.
Yes, yours is
rather than the necromancer
mine
side.
was more based on the necromancer side, wasn't it? I've started working a while ago. Actually, I started working on the Namtar, which is basically my version of the Skaven, and I started working on the lore for them.
Yeah, and it's really interesting, the lore you've
because
come
I've
up with
taken it in a different direction. Because I want it to be more fit in with Oathmark.
Well, I think what we're both trying to do is to avoid, and it's quite difficult when you get down to it because they're so ingrained in your head, but avoid the normal tropes that have come up about, dwarves must be doughty and this sort of stuff. Give them a bit of a different type of history, and elves have to be haughty and all that sort of stuff.
Dwarves and elves are very hard to kind of change that because they are so ingrained in the way you think about it.
It is.
And
undead, I'm really pleased with the difference I've got with the undead lore.
I do like the idea of the undead being actually like we spoke about it before, didn't we? Where they're almost like guardians in a certain place, and actually when the idea of like when people pass away, they're actually taken to this place to be resurrected, and then they become the guardians of a certain area.
Yeah.
So it's almost like there's a real kind of there's a purpose. After they pass away, they fulfill another purpose.
And purpose is the big thing that I've been doing with mine.
Yeah.
Is they need to fulfil their purpose, and actually they're being allowed to because they give a really good service to the dwarves and the elves.
Yeah.
But we won't go too much into this because obviously that's something for a future show. But so plenty of hockey. Hockey. That's a different.
No
thing.
hockey.
Plenty of hobby going at the moment. The way I'm painting the dwarves is I'm going layering. So, and I'm doing. It may be more in some respects or less in others, but for each of the main elements, I'm doing like a 3-layer approach. And actually, sometimes I find that faster than being really precise with contrast paint or something like that, and then highlighting it up. I find this sometimes is quicker because you put your base coat on. If you start from the darkest, put your base coat on, mid-tone, highlight onto the next thing. So it can be quite quick when you're batch painting as well.
So I'm going to try that because I've got some
and
some
no
paints.
washes.
I've got some new. I'm trying out the Army Painting Fanatic range. Because they come in, each set comes in 6 shades. Which I really like.
So it gives you a natural sort of jump that's not too high.
Because even if you wanted to do 2 greens, say like you wanted a dark green and a light green, you could almost do the first 3 for 1 green, and then the second 3 for the next green. And
you've got 2 different, and one's much lighter than the other. So I quite like the idea of doing that, but I need to sort of play around with like colour schemes and stuff. And I've got to make I've also got to make the decision: do I finish this unit? This is typical me. Do I finish the unit? The answer's both.
Do I finish the unit of cavalry
that
I'm painting up nice, or do I just print another 5 and do the quick job?
Only you can answer that one.
I know.
Depends. I suppose it depends how you do your infantry.
But it won't match the rest of the army. So I think the answer is I'm going to have to print another 5 and
The answer is more.
push the others away.
You can use
All
them for something else.
All that wasted time.
Wow, it happens. Well, that's a wrap on episode 8 of the Paul and Wayne Show.
Yes.
So, yeah, good episode, I think, and something a bit different. We had a friend of the show, James, make an appearance.
I'm looking forward to... because
you haven't actually heard it yet.
I haven't heard it yet, no, so
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to see what his take on things are.
Yeah, I think you'll find it interesting.
Good, yeah. Well, James is very he's, I'd say James and Paul Buckler are very kind of, they're really into the rules, aren't they? They know the rules.
Yeah.
They're really good at the game. They understand all the nuances of it. Whereas me and Paul are more kind of we just turn up and play.
Seat of your pants.
Yeah, we just wing it every time. So it'd be really interesting to see James's take on it.
Yeah.
Or hear James's take on it.
Yeah, so looking to do a few more sort of interviews and things like that to add in to the podcast as well, so look out for that in the future. Go to ughobby.com if you want to find out more about events that we're doing, commission painting, if you're interested in getting anything painted, either little projects or big projects, we can do that there. And then follow us on Instagram, just look out for ughobby, and all the other stuff. YouTube channel. We just released recently, and it's doing very well, the latest Oathmark video.
Was that
the second Oathmark video?
Was that the ambush one?
Yes. Yeah. We don't need to talk any more about that. But you can go and watch that, and there should be some new videos coming out as well. The 5 leagues stuff. I need to get some of that uploaded as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots going on. Anyway, well done, Wayne. Another one in the can.
Well done, Paul. It'd probably be a massive... I'm looking forward to the next episode when I do a complete 180 on all the projects that I'm currently working on and do something new, because that's just completely normal for me.
Yeah, because it's when you came round today and you said, I've got a new project.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God, here we go.
Yeah, I do tend to go... I go down a rabbit hole very quickly, don't I? With I think what it is, if I kept them small and easy...
Yeah,
I'd get so much more done.
Not an entire army.
But I don't go small and easy, do I? I just go a bit mad.
Right, well, okay. We will hopefully see a few... actually, it's been quite nice with people at events and things that have mentioned the podcast. So
people are listening to it.
So thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks everyone. It's really appreciated.